And where did that name come from? Who's going to tell me?
You are.
Me?
Yeah.
Me?
Well, when we originally formed, the first track we did together, Haar and me, of course, who joined later, we were recording on Haar by the sea, which is an island off of Ireland by the coast, and basically the Haar is like a mist, like, what is it, falling
There's a sea
over?
threat
Sea
we've
fog,
got here
yeah.
as well. Like
Did you not say that it was Craggy Island?
No.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's it's.
No, I want to do it.
It's the opening credits of Father Ted.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
They pan over the island, and so you see Craggy Craggy Island.
So
But actually,
I've not watched Father
the
Ted.
Plassey, the shipwreck is the Plassey, and that's the famous shipwreck that's in the opening credits of Father Ted. So that's actually where we filmed our very first track and first video. So that was the first time we ever played together, wasn't it?
Us three.
Yeah, us three. Yeah. So we just put the cameras on, and Adam had his mobile recording studio. So we actually set everything up, and we'd never played together. We had just this kind of beautiful sunset. We planned to do it by sunset. We planned to do it for sunset.
But
Obviously we were late.
Walking across the island.
we were late, so we
There's
had,
a surprise.
we had like 10 minutes for the sun went down. We just did one take, and it was just we really enjoyed it. So it's on YouTube actually. Yeah. So and then we came back and invited Murray in to join us.
And going back to the question of the name, so it was this thing of being by the sea, and then when Molly came over just to go through choose some tracks for our first album, which we were doing before we did, first gig was today, so it was obviously before we've ever done a gig. But that's by the sea as well, on the North Yorkshire coast, and there's just that sea thing. And the Haar is a word that is for Irish and
Scottish.
Scottish and North East Coast as well, for the sea mist, so just at least it fits
Makes
a bit.
sense, yeah.
So we went with it.
But it's not unrelated to the hair. I mean,
If you were German.
obviously, a big feature, and that's why we have the little image on the album cover. Yeah.
Thanks for mentioning it, Cormac.
Tell us.
Well, here's a fun fact: the hair on the album cover is not actually Molly.
Why would you say that? Why would he say that?
Yeah, that's from just before, because Murray's now dyed his hair brown, but
It was actually his hair.
it's not actually
Yeah, mine wasn't vibrant enough.
No.
So Murray took one for the team and went through the dyeing process.
It has to be for that look. It has to be that look. Tell us the story about how Molly got involved with this.
Oh well, that was on Inisheer. Cormac teaches at a Barron festival there every year, and he and I had done an album, which actually Murray engineered.
Yeah, I was the
mixed
engineer.
and produced and everything else. Called Stone Soup, and we went over we did a kind of lecture and a concerty thing.
Yeah, it was kind of a lunchtime concert kind of lecture about the whole idea of because the whole album was kind of based on improvisation really, and so instead of sort of picking tunes and arranging them and going into the studio like that, we kind of had this idea of just improvised structures really. So and I think that idea is carried on to different projects that we've done since with Adam and Murray with their Ciderhouse Rebellion, and into the Haar. So we kind of came in with this project with the idea of taking traditional Irish songs, and traditional songs in general I suppose, and then instead of kind of arranging them and structuring them, they would actually take an improvised approach to the arrangement in the studio. So that was the idea behind it really, and so we just kind of put the parts together and got into the studio, press record, and let's see what happens.
Then we were on that island, we did our gig, it was all great frankly, and paddled off to the pub. There was a session going on, we're drinking Guinness, and the session was fine, nice, and then suddenly Molly just sang a thing on her own, absolutely magical. Everything went completely silent, and I've wanted to work with a folk singer of the right kind of voice for kind of my whole career, and I've never, I would work with Julie Fowlis, but I guess she's already busy. And then suddenly there was this voice, and I said to Cormac, we've got to do something with her.
Yeah, and we were just doing our first Ciderhouse
album,
improv album, and I remember Adam just say, because I knew that these guys had been doing it because I engineered and produced the album, so I knew this. Oh yeah, they've been off doing that. I said, you need to have a listen to this. What do you think?
Yeah, I played the video he was talking about to Murray.
Wow, yeah, brilliant. What do you think? Yeah, sign me up.
So I sent you a text.
We're on.
I sent Molly a text, and about half an hour later.
I was going to say, what did Molly think about all of this?
At the time,
Well, she's the singer, we don't listen.
Yeah, they don't actually care about my. No, I was working at the time. I was working like a 9 to 5 office job as well, and I was just like, it was midsummer, like really hot weather. I was working in a HR thing. Business things, and not my thing clearly. But I was working there, and I remember it being lunch, and you'd like in those kind of jobs, you're just like, oh, whatever. And then I checked my phone, and I had the text from you, and I was like, obviously.
That's pretty much what you replied. So I then texted Cor and said, well, we all think this. And so within half an hour of the idea really coming to fruition there, then the band was a band. Because when we just did it on Inisheer, we wanted to do something with Molly, but we did that as kind of a one-off.
Yeah, it was never...
And it was sort of like a guest with Stone Soup or whatever.
Yeah,
but
actually that was... Yeah, we originally looked at that, didn't we? We were like, maybe we should do a Stone Soup featuring Molly, and then we kind of went, actually no, maybe this is a thing on its own, you know. Yeah.
And then I remember having the conversation, what we're going to do, I think we need to do an album, let's sort this out, and us having a conversation with you saying, come on, what's your availability over this? No, I have no availability, there's no space, no way I can do it. Yeah, but what about that? Oh, all right.
Molly, just talk about your singing.
Gladly. No.
I mean, up to that point, you'd been singing in pubs and things like that, so it was just a hobby. I mean, when did you discover your voice, and who told you that that's a remarkable voice?
Thank you. Thank you.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I've always... Singing was kind of like the first thing I came to, so I play the harp as well. Not in the band. I play the
That's a
harp.
story there. It's
a story.
But I've kind of been singing since I was really small, because there was this workshop in my local area and they didn't have enough people to get the singing teacher in, so they're like, oh, do you mind just like doing it just so we can get her in? And then I sang at that, and it was actually, that was when I learned Two Sisters.
Okay.
And it was the first time I learned that, and I just fell in love with singing, and they were like, oh, you can do this.
You're all right. Yeah.
So then from there I kind of did a lot of like FLAs, like, you know, traditional Irish competitions with singing and things like that, and I was in a lot of groups, because see, I'm still in college and stuff, so like it's all been, I've always done gigs and things like that, but I'd never been like, this could be a thing for me, so and then these guys.
You work with all, you know, didn't you?
Yeah, so I don't know if you know Gwitcha, but they're a trad band like from Ireland, and Anya McGeaney, the singer, she was one of my singing teachers, and like I think probably shaped my style a lot, because before going to her I did do my own kind of thing with traditional Irish songs, but she kind of taught me that, you know, just because they're trad doesn't mean you can't add variants and you can't like change the structure, which was really like, it's something that you should think about, but it was kind of that I never had, because something about trad that like I always love is that even though you always have the tradition, you can still like grow from that, and you can go back to it, and the whole point is that it's a constantly evolving thing. And I suppose when I was younger and you're competing in competitions, you're always told not to do that.
The flat culture.
The flat culture, like as in every adjudication sheet I got back was like, that's lovely, but you're too modern, or you're too this, and then you're like, and then, you know, it's nice to actually be able to perform just and do your own thing, and understand that you can make things your own, and like, even that's what we do, I guess.
Yeah,
especially.
very much so.
And plans for the future then?
I'm going to tell you the story first.
Oh no!
It's a very little one. So, we did an interview for
an American radio or something.
I thought it was anyway. We did an interview.
American.
Yeah.
Okay, some American.
I know. I always say the right things.
Cool.
It's what you'll learn from this story.
So he was talking to. Well, actually, they
both got it wrong.
Cormac forgot where he came from. Gave him the wrong town.
It was early in lockdown. We weren't used to Zoom culture. You know, we panicked.
And Molly, he
Molly
asked her
was
about it.
genius.
And she said, "Oh yeah, I play harp on the album." She doesn't.
Yes.
She doesn't play harp on the album
no.
whatsoever. And then she said, "Oh no, I'm the singer."
Not much difference.
Not at all.
But at least we don't keep reminding her of this at all.
No,
No.
never. They're so kind and nice about it, and it's just
So,
really heartwarming.
Next album then, are you going to be playing the harp?
I played the harp on this album. Did you not see the game?
Yeah, we're halfway through the second album, so
Yeah.
we've done 2 days. We've got another 2 days, and that'll be next album done.
We've only, we were saying this earlier, how we've only actually met each other. This is my
Fourth
fourth
day?
day,
No, fifth day, I think.
day.
Yeah.
Actually, like,
Actually,
Yeah, because
physically.
you're actually recording in Yorkshire, aren't
Yeah.
you? In the middle of it at the moment. So.
We are.
Yeah.
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 Back to it in the morning.
Yeah, we're in the middle of doing our quite unique, I suppose. We're now recording our second album in the same week as we're doing our first gig. So, I don't know what many bands can say.
After
wouldn't
only
want to
5
say.
days in total together as a band.
And we had the other fabulous experience last night. We finished recording. We're thinking, okay, let's chill, sort ourselves out for tomorrow. Why don't we just run a few things, just top and tail a few things? And we're in the kitchen just having a jam, and the Cormac suddenly goes, "Hang on a minute. This is the first time we've ever actually played together and can see each other." Because in recording, you're all in cans and surrounded by stuff, and maybe in another room and all the rest of it. And so last night was the first time we actually were in the same room playing.
Yeah, so most of the time so far, like we've been kind of creating this stuff, but we're in the studio setup where we're
Yeah, so you've got
And
sound
we've done-
baffles.
yeah. and
first
we've
time
done-
we were in the same room, but we were separate, had kind of visual separation
Yeah.
and sound separation, of course, as well. But this time we're in different rooms.
And
but
then
we,
during lockdown, of course, we've done 3 videos
yeah,
where we've had to, because of lockdown, we've had to do it the one person does something, send it, musical consequences in effect.
Yeah.
So we've done all this stuff. It's great. We've got all this stuff, but we never actually played together.
just
Till
such a
last
crazy
night.
realization to go, guys, we've never.
What's the actual, what did it feel like on the stage then when you're there together?
Fantastic.
And you've got this big crowd in front of you.
It was cold and windy.
You feel some sense of nervousness about that situation?
No.
Oh, no,
Was
not
that
at all.
really enjoyable?
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it was I think it was like
There's an energy waiting to pop out.
yeah, like well, I don't know, like I think because you obviously the audience introduces a different element, so
Yeah.
you kind of you're responding to that, like that's part of the conversation we're having. So
Yeah.
when we're performing, we're having a conversation with each other, but when the audience is there, they're part of the conversation, so they affect it, And I think today, like we were kind of delighted with how it went today's performance, but it's also a tough one, like in the middle of the day in a field when everyone's sort of trying to be as separated as well, and like with the restrictions and stuff. But no, it was great. Like it felt really good, and I think that's the first thing we said after we came off stage was like, yeah, that kind of worked, and we're happy.
Well, it certainly seemed to work looking from the other side and hearing some of the comments being said around.
Well, I was saying to the monitor engineers afterwards, I was just saying like, because they did a fantastic
Yeah,
job and they
cracking.
really made our job easier, and I said to them like, thanks so much because for making it sound so good for us on stage, because even we don't know what we're supposed to sound like on stage. So we weren't very good at guiding them. Like, what do you normally sound like? We don't know.
Tell me, yeah.
It sounded okay.
It's all right.
And I believe that you nearly sold out of CDs.
We did. We sold a lot.
Did sell
God.
Totally sold out, yeah.
We had about half the line left and we'd run out.
Yeah.
Quite embarrassing, really.
Yeah.
Well done, and good luck with the new album. And
Yeah, I think like I guess the frustration for us was we formed the band just before
yeah.
the pandemic hit, so we didn't really get an opportunity to kind of get out there and do the festivals. So, but it's kind of led to these really unique experiences.
I think the video streaming bit and linking on video has been what's really taken off over this last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think we're really lucky as well because, we're all in a position where we can record remotely, but, Murray's kind of skill set as a producer and then Adam's skill set as a video producer, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we've been really lucky that we're able to kind of in-house produced.
And it's
those
amazing actually how well it's worked.
Yeah.
Because so much of what we do is improvisatory. We
Yeah.
are reacting to each other.
Reacting in real time, whereas when you
You
had to do
can't
a
do
video in consequences, although
And yet it's worked, which has been quite fascinating and intriguing, but it's really good to just actually do it and just really bounce and have that conversation in real time.
Yeah.
And, great stuff.
Well, I wish you the very, very best and keep in touch, won't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.